Hey, welcome back to another day, another vlog. Hope you're all well today, this Thursday. Yeah, not long to go for the end of the week. I thought it's been a busy week. There's probably a lot of people bored out of their minds, as myself. I decided to have a bit of a night off last night. I was going to sit down and do some photos, but I was a bit smashed from the night before, from the late night. I thought it was good to just get a rest and recharge and give me a chance to get some sleep, which is always good. So yeah, I'm going to get back into work mode tonight once I've done all the family stuff, and I'll have a late one tonight, try and smash out a heap of photo editing. So that's the one that takes the longest time. So once I can get all that done, we will sort of progress on the new video at Murdy's hike, so Murdy Park hike. So yeah, all going well. Yeah, not a real lot to do work-wise. I just thought I knew I was going to hit the wall, and I hit the wall. So you just got to pull the brake on, rest, recover, get back in it. It's not worth crushing yourself over a video, especially when you don't make any money. So it's a part-time, it's a full-time job that I don't make any money out of, but I just do it for the fun. So it's definitely not worth crushing yourself for. But anyways, all good. We'll get some more stuff tonight. So I got a little bit today. It's a little bit tricky, a little bit of a slow sort of a news day. There wasn't a super much around. There is some exciting stuff. We're going to get into that and smash that out now. Trumpy, my old mate Trump, refusing to wear masks. The chief medical officer come out, and who's been doing it for 20 odd years, come out and said, realistically, if you can wear masks, it's a recommendation. You wear masks and gloves. The more people do it, the better. Trump said, I'm not doing that. It's only a recommendation. I don't want to do it, so I'm not doing it. Which is it's his choice, and I understand having a choice and all that. But as a leader, you lead by example. He sets, quite frankly, a shit example as a human, let alone a president of a country. There's no other words to say, but he's just a dick. I mean, that's just a dick move. What a tosser. I don't think I'd have any time at all for a person like that just to even comprehend having to sit there and talk to someone as stupid as him. But that's just ignorance of the uppermost level. The fact that he has achieved what he has achieved in life with that sort of FU attitude to everyone else but himself, and totally only gives a shit about himself, is terrible. And it's not a good. It's a real shame. The other problem we have now is that on the other side of the flip coin, we have Bernie Sanders, who is probably a total opposite of Trump, and I thought a good match to fight up against. You don't want the two of the same fighters fighting each other, because they're just going to do the same thing. Having a polar opposite like Bernie Sanders, who cares about everyone, was the one that's been trying to get healthcare for all Americans in there, so everyone has an opportunity to stay alive, not just the rich, like Trump wants. He's just bowed out of the race, which is just insane. I really thought it was going to be closer. Biden's done nothing that I know of. Nothing, hasn't promised anything that's going to change their lives for the better. And especially, we're going through a health crisis. The guy that's trying to get healthcare for all is out of control. I was watching the show with the F-Stoppers the other day. They were talking about, one of them was, I think, from Brooklyn. Forgive me if I get it wrong. But he was reflecting on a story where he had to go into hospital, and he waited 4 hours to someone to check something out. And there was basically nothing wrong. They basically said, take some Panadol, and they sent him a bill for $1,000 US. $1,000 just to see someone in hospital. $1,000, which is just friggin' insane. Now, you've got all these people going to hospital for this coronavirus. You can imagine what these hospitals are going to be charging these people. And these people are going to be nowhere near be able to afford this. And whatever $2 trillion, which looks like all the con artists and scammers are trying to rip out with all these business loans. They're trying to rip all that out so they can use to make themselves rich. It's actually, I don't think a lot of it's going to go to the right people. It's a real shame to sort of see that. And Bernie Sanders, the one thing I had for him, and it was the one thing that Obama had in there, was healthcare. He may not have got it right, may not have been 100%, but he was trying to get healthcare for everyone. Now, in Australia, we're very lucky we have Medicare, which does a decent job. It's only once you go to hospital for something elective, it still costs you a packet. Unfortunately, we're just about forced to take private health cover, otherwise you have to pay twice as much if you don't continuously have it. And it's the healthcare still try and rip you off, but our rip off is nothing like a rip off over there. I don't think people realise that, and through a health crisis, I think people will see what that healthcare is going to do to that country, and I think the financial burden it's going to put on these poor people is going to be pretty terrible. So yeah, it's a little bit scary in that regard. So you're sad to see. I was voting for Bernie. I thought he might have been a good change, and a person that's not worried about money, but more worried about the people. See someone like that come in, I think that might have been a nice change for him. It doesn't look so. It's going to be Biden versus Trump, and neither of them have any sort of charisma. So yeah, what do you do? I got a funny feeling Trump's going to win this again because Biden is not worth voting for. He's got nothing to vote for. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. Biden, Trump, very similar sort of people. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see what Biden's going to be able to do to change the tide. Trump's not changing. He hasn't changed the way he is. He's just always been a dick, and he does his thing and he does what he says. That's the one thing I will give him. He is honest in the fact that he will do what he says he's going to do, but he doesn't give a shit who he hurts doing it. So that's one thing. It's you've got to take your poison pill with your remedy. So yeah, you get that. Anyway, that's politics. That's enough on that. But yeah, very interesting. Bernie Sanders yesterday has bowed out. So that's pretty much locks in Biden. I can't see anything else, any other way that doesn't happen. So it'd be very interesting to see the rest of it, especially now. Especially with the governments, the Wisconsin vote, the Supreme Court forced all the people to go out during this crisis to vote in a pandemic, and they refused to let them do it by postal vote, like all the other states are doing. So that was a bit strange. Right, let's go into some other fun stuff. It's sort of similar to the COVID, some COVID atmosphere. Might as well finish all that off. Australian government, $130 billion JobKeeper bill passed today. That's fantastic, unless and my poor wife if you've been a casual, or my cousin is a cinematographer, because he's basically a casual or goes from job to job, contract to contract. He's not eligible. My wife's not eligible because she's less than 12 months as a casual. And there's going to be a lot of casual people that are consistently casual and just do consistently casual jobs, or mums returning to the workforce that are casuals that haven't been employed for 12 months. Don't get that. So yeah, it's not covering enough people. That needs to be some adjustments in there. If it costs a little bit more, well, it costs a little bit more. I think you need to be able to cover everyone that has had a job for that 6 months. Discriminating against people because they were 2 months not at the job for 2 months longer is pretty rude, and because they're a contractor but they've been doing it for 20 years, that's pretty rude too. And there's a lot of filmmakers in the film industry, my cousin, one of them, that affected like that, so it's pretty piss poor, I think that. So they definitely need to adjust that. So as much as they needed to get it in, I think they need to also start looking at the adjustments, and hopefully Labor will look at those things and get it amended so they at least maybe possibly get their back pay in, because the dole $550 a fortnight's not going to pay their bills. So you're still going to have a lot of people in terrible, dire financial situation because of it. So more on that. Now the strange one here, UFC, the boss of UFC, he's a bit of a loose nut, but he's come out. He's going to continue fights, continue the going. He's flying everyone to a private island. Money hungry much? Like, this guy's a bit of a nutter. That the fact that he's going to keep doing he reckons he's going to test all the pilots, all the film staff, all the fighters are going to be tested, ongoing testing for COVID to make sure they're all clean and safe, but so they can keep fighting, so he can keep making money. Yeah, they'll have a job and they'll be making money out of it too, I'm sure, and there's people that watch it and enjoy it, and they're sitting at home and ready to watch it. But like, really, like, surely you can have a break. Yeah, very strange. Photo checking in there is definitely different, and it seems like a big. I need the money. I want the money. I don't want this money to stop. I'm pretty sure Dana White. I'm pretty sure he's a billionaire anyway. Like, surely he doesn't need the cash to even just risk it. I mean, if he does it, he's going to end up getting sued by someone if they do get sick. God forbid that happens, and then it's going to cost him millions and millions of dollars, so if not more. So yeah, very, very big decision, very, very tough decision, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't think it matters. You go to a private island, that's not going to affect anything. If you're on a private block of land, you could do the same thing. I don't know how the private island works. Maybe that's to get out of US jurisdiction or something, not sure. Now, Sony rumours. The PS5, the joystick got released today. That was pretty cool, except it looks very rounded. There's a lot of talk about it looking exactly like a Microsoft Xbox controller, which it now sort of does. The biggest part of it is the DualShock's been part of the Sony trademarks for a long time now. It's not called DualShock anymore. It's now called DualSense. It's going to have haptic feedback. So like on your iPhone, that stupid buzzing thing when you push the button, which really doesn't mean nothing. It's more painful and gets worse and worse with each iOS. I'm not sure how that works, because you're going to be smashing buttons. Hope it's not going to be some touchpad button, something ridiculous like that, because you need buttons in there so you can tap them fast. But yeah, so I'm not sure. It's going to have a built-in microphone, which I thought was good for online chatting. So if you're that, you've got to have the microphone there. You can do that and not have cords and stuff hanging on you, because it's obviously already wireless. So that's pretty good, depending on the sound quality, whether you can use that to stream as well. And yeah, there was some yays and nays about it, but it has come out. You'll see it in the thumbnail it is about, so you can go check that out now. Something different, definitely different way for Sony to look at things, and a different way they are approaching this one, but something new. Now, some juicy stuff on the Canon rumours side. Some lenses floating around. 3 new patents dropped. An RF 85mm f1.8 macro, 100mm f2.8, and an EFM 100mm f2. Now on the other two, I'm not really sure. The macro sounds really good. I don't think there was a macro in the RF, so that's cool. And the 100mm 2.8, that's probably full frame. That's not too bad. I guess they can use that for portraits. Portraits are normally 50 or an 85. The 100mm, I'm not really sure what you use 100mm for. Same as it for my beloved M series range. We've got a EFM 100 f2. So that's going to be relatively 150mm. What do you use it for? I don't really know what you use that for. I've got the 55 to 200, and I'll pretty much use that right at the end as the 200 because it's a telephoto and I want to get as far away. That's as long as I can get for that lens. You can't get any more than 200, so that works out at roughly a 300mm lens. I don't know what 100. If you're going to bring a prime lens out, bring out like a 400 or a 500 for the M, a long big telephoto prime, something that we can use for like distance. Imagine like a 500, that'll be a 750 with the ASPC, so I would have preferred that. I'm not sure what the 100's for. That's probably a specific genre and it's something I don't use much, so it was a bit strange, and I would have liked a really low wide angle, sorry, not widescreen. Something like an 8 or a 9mm, so it only turns out to be like a 14 or 15mm full frame equivalent. Something like that would have been better as a prime, I think, than 100mm. It's a bit of a strange one, just sort of stuck in the middle of nowhere, 100mm. But that was pretty cool. I think that macro for the RF will go really well. 85, 1.8, that'll do pretty well. It's not a bad range. I would have normally, their old 100mm was a really good macro. Strange they've come down to an 85. I'm sure they've got the reasonings, but definitely cool. Now, also on the Canon Rumours site was virtual press conference. The Canon USA is doing basically an international virtual press conference announcing new imaging equipment and bits and pieces on the 20th of April on the Canon USA website at 1 p.m. EDT or 10 a.m. Pacific time, I think it is. I've got a funny feeling that's going to be the R5 release. So if you're super keen on the 20th of April, so it'll be the 21st for us, work out your clocks and stuff, check out that website. I think you'll see the announcement for the R5 because they're still going ahead as planned to announce it. And I think this will be the announcement on the 20th of April in America, so that's 21st for us. Add on about 14, so it's going to be probably 2-3 in the morning for us. But yeah, so stay tuned on that. I think that's going to be a big one. If you're keen on cameras, this is the one to watch. That sounds like a big announcement, and a virtual online, which we knew it was going to be. This is where it's going to be at, so that's about it. Another day, it's a warm one here today. It was stinking hot today when we went for a walk. Keep up your water, go to Teespring, grab a cup, that'd be much appreciated. And I will see you all tomorrow for the end of the week chat. Hope you've all had a good day today, Thursday, not working too hard or not at home and run out of things to do. And I will see you all tomorrow. No worries, guys. Thanks for stopping by. If you're heading that way or that way, see you tomorrow, Friday. Peace.